doubt me. I told you not to stinking doubt me, friends. Oh, my Lord Jesus, friends. Holy smokeroons. Friends, I filed for my Social Security disability last night, friends. It's all true. I wasn't just threatening the lady that I was going to do it. I had to do it, friends. Friends, let me explain this to you. Friends, those of y'all that have two brain cells to rub together, y'all can understand that not all injuries are visible, friends. Not all injuries are visible. Friends, you can be missing a leg and still have a job. You can be blind and still have a job. Friends, I suffer from many afflictions from the war for the last stinking time, and that is not a part of the skit. A lot of y'all know these things. Now, friends, I don't want to get into all my war trauma. What is this knucklehead doing? Friends, that's right. I'm at the Social Security Disability Office right here in Brandon, friends, and I got done. Friends, I got some big news. I got some big old news, friends. Hold on. Come on, friend. Let's go. Friends, I never knew that I qualified for this stuff. Because I'm not a victim. I'm the victor, everybody. And friends, when I had a... Oh my gosh, friends, these people. Oh man, these knuckleheads. I mean, we gotta be careful, friends. We gotta be very... There's a lot of people here that can't work, and apparently they can't drive the vehicles either. Friends, we gotta be careful. We're on federal property right now. I'm not allowed to even video record when I'm in the building. But I don't know, friends. I walked in there and the man's like, he saw me because I'm a veteran and they all know that I'm like domestic terrorism now, right? Because that's all the training that they got from the Joe Biden. And the man wanted to almost frisk me and pat me down in there. I said, oh, hold on, friend, hold on. I was like, do you do this for everybody that walks in here? I need some disability. Why you treat me like this? And then he cleaned his act up. Hold on, friends. Friends, my truck wasn't running that good. It's all true, friends. I didn't change the air filter. Friends, I didn't change like the air filter ever. Friends, when I first bought the Nissan Titan, this is the new one, friends, the Platinum Reserve. Friends, you couldn't even find the air filters. Like, for some reason, they just hadn't gotten to America yet. And so I just kept cleaning it with the, friends, it's like this spray you spray on the Harley to clean the air filters in the Harleys, friends. So I just used to do that with the Grizzly truck. But I told you I can't even go to the house any longer because of what the devil's done to this lady. Tricked her so bad. So, friends, last night, or the other night, when I was falling for all these little snars that the devil kept laying out for me, I threatened. I said, look, lady, I'm gonna go get, you ain't gonna get a cent out of me in the divorce. As a matter of fact, you're gonna be paying me a lot of alimony, a lot of alimony. Friends, I'm still gonna demand that damn alimony of this demon lady. Friends, when I call the lady a demon lady, I'm not saying that she's a demon, but there's darkness in that lady. And we all know that at this point, friends. It's undisputed. And she even admitted it herself the other night when she professed, well, it wasn't her, friends. The demons in her professed all their hatred. Hey, what's up, Schlitz? Good to see you again. I just filed for my Social Security disability. Brother, I'm looking at almost $80,000 in back pay, my friend. $80,000. $80,000 in my account here sometime later on this year. Friends, hold on now. Let's just slow it down for a second. I was a soldier for many years, and my good friend on here, he understands these things. Because he knew me when I was in the motorcycle clubs, and I was, friends, I was suffering with the drinking. Because I was trying to handle my PTSD and all my depression and all my anger on my own, friends, but it didn't work out the way it needed to. But check it out, my good friend. I've been sober, not quite as long as you, but 3 years under my belt. But friends, when I worked for the Department of Veteran Affairs, I was doing okay. My war-related trauma, I'm talking about the post-traumatic stress. Friends, I was in Afghanistan 2 tours, and I pulled the trigger on a whole van full of folks, and they didn't make it, friends. And it affected me tremendously. And I was under many nights of rocket attacks at Kandahar Airfield, friends. It's all true. That's how I got the combat action badge. Friends, I don't need to get into the stinking war trauma, but I've been 100% service-connected, total and permanent veteran for about 5 years now. And friends, when I got that 100%, I was still working at the VA, and it was going okay, friends. I mean, I had a lot of hostilities in the work environment. But when I was working at the Bay Pines VA, friends, that long drive, every day to work, I had to drive in traffic. And friends, that's a trigger for guys like us. When you're in traffic, you're just looking. You're looking. Because friends, when you're in the war, you don't ever want to be in traffic. That's when the IEDs go off. But friends, when I was working the job at the Bay Pines VA, they did, friends. They put me through a hostile work environment. And it was because I was a white Christian guy. It's all true. It's all true. So that you know these things by now. And on September the 8th of the year 2023, that was the last day I could ever work, friends, because I had a mental health relapse. I had a panic attack and an anxiety attack in my office. It's all true. My soon-to-be but not soon enough ex-wife knows these things. Because I drug her perverted butt back to my office on Monday to help me collect all my belongings and say goodbye to all my employees. Friends, it wasn't planned. It happened. It was in God's plan. And then I did my Freedom of Information Act request. And then I found out that all the managing officials, the union, the human resources, even the Vision level were all working against me to get rid of me, everybody. That's what my lawsuit's all about. But I never thought in a million years I qualified for the Social Security disability. But when I was telling that, and this lady was just the clerk, Schlitz, I filed last night and I put a really nice detailed explanation. I put every single diagnosis that I ever got from the VA. It was all in there. And then I went down there today to give my cover letter and my VA letter, and then I printed everything out for her. Really nice. I had to go spend, friends, it's $40 for the ink for my printer. I got my work office in my truck, everybody. I'm working out of my truck because I'm homeless. Now, I could have bought a brand new printer for $40, or I could have bought the XL ink for $38. Friends, I told you nothing makes sense in our country. And I almost went for it. I almost bought the extra printer, because I'm like, why in the hell? I could buy a whole new printer for the same amount as the ink that goes in it. Friends, I told you, nothing makes sense in our country any longer. But I thought, friends, that if I filed for disability, maybe in 6 months or a year, I would start. I'm looking at $2,000 a month. Hey, my friend, $2,000 on top of my VA disability. Do you hear what I said, friends? Don't you dare tell this lady she's still gonna pay me that damn alimony. Because it's gonna, listen, our divorce is gonna be done here in about 4 months. Maybe 6 months at the most, because I know she's gonna whimper and cry, and that Skalinsky lawyer, he's gonna drop her as a client. He's gonna say, oh no, I can't handle the Grizzly man. No, he's gonna make a mockery of me. He calls me Skalinsky, and my name's Lansky Law Firm, but we call him the Skalinsky because we don't like lawyers. They're all perverted, except the Esquire. He's righteous. Now, Schlitz, I know what you're thinking, but you're 45 years old. You're gonna go on disability, and the lady said it don't have to be forever. Until my conditions improve. Friends, I can't work. I just can't work. That's one thing this lady could never understand. She was so angry at me because she had to get him to go to work every day. And friends, I don't want to talk ill to the lady, but that's not a real job, what she does. She just goes in there and pushes a couple buttons while the veterans go off to be with Jesus or the devil. I mean, friends, anybody can do her job. She's a government employee, for God's sake. I mean, they're all incompetent, everybody. I mean, I just had a lady from the VA call me, asking me if I'd like to join the domestic violence intervention course that they got at the Tampa VA. And I'm like, who the hell? Why the hell are you even calling me? I called y'all like a month ago. Well, it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I called him up because that horrible Judge Peroni said I had to get my 11th mental health exam. I mean, the other 10 that said there ain't nothing wrong with me mentally. That didn't suffice. It's all harassment, my friend. It's all harassment on your good buddy, the Grizzly man here. But no, the VA couldn't call me and schedule the mental health eval that the courts demanded that I do, that the 11th one. No. They're incompetent. So I got a call from some lady, and I messed with that lady on the phone. Schlitz, it's all true. I played with that lady. I toyed with her for about 20 minutes, just in my hand. And here's the best part. I used to work in that clinic. She already knew who I was, but she didn't know that I already knew who she was too. And then I just asked her, why the hell are you calling me? Why do I need to be in a domestic violence? I'm the victim here. The lady had the hand on the window, my Lord Jesus. And then I said, do you even know who I am? And she got real quiet. And I said, let me tell you something. I know who you are. And I said, I know you know who my old boss was, Dr. Nicole Schreiber, the lady that all she does with the she does it like the 3 transgender veterans. That's all she does. I mean, we pay the lady $130,000 of our taxes go to her salary, and she only handles 3 veterans, the mental transgender folks. And she got real quiet, and I said, oh yeah, you know who I am. I said, I'm the guy that got rid of y'all's union, the AFGE. I'm the guy that helped the Trumpster get rid of it. And I said, you know I used to work there as a peer support. And then I said, you know who Carmen Genovese is? And she got even quieter, and she goes, oh yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to call you. I was like, no, I like that guy. He's girly, but he was a good supervisor for me. Even though he supported Ukraine. But I told you, friends, these people aren't well. They're under the spell of the diversity. They're social justice warriors. And I dressed that lady down. I said, why the hell would I even go to your little silly group? It's all going to be one-sided just because I'm a Grizzly man and I'm a combat veteran, just like the courts, just like the Bay Pines. Y'all are just going to point the finger at me. You need to get that lady in here and get her in some treatment. Oh, no treatment for the lady. Oh, no. I got to do 11 mental health exams, my friend Schlitz, and I demanded that she at least get one. And that judge says, "Oh no. We need ladies like her to do what they're doing. That way we have the jobs." But Schlitz, it's all true, my friend. The Bay Pines VA got me to the mental state where I'm not able to work anymore. And that is not a part of the skit, everybody. That is a true damn fact. And this lady could never understand that. That's why she has so much hatred in her heart, because I'm just so much better than her. I'm so much smarter than her. Now, I didn't run down to the disability office the day that this happened. I literally tried to find another job, my friend Schlitz. I tried like 30 jobs, and there were no jobs for the white guys. We all know this now. And Mr. Trump exposed a lot of that. But I did what any good soldier would do, any good combat soldier. I did my due diligence. I did my Freedom of Information Act request. And then when I found out that these people 100% came after me, I hired a lawyer. And everybody, my lawsuit is literally the largest one the VA's ever had to deal with. When I told that lady behind the counter, I said, "You know how these lawsuits go?" She goes, "Well, a little bit. We had a lady here that had to deal with one." And I said, "Well, how many charges did she have?" She says, "Well, she had one charge against our old supervisor." And I said, "Okay. So that means that she probably had one report of investigation." She goes, "Yeah, I think that's right." I said, "Lady, I had 9 charges in my lawsuit." And the lady goes, "Oh my goodness." And I said, "I had 10 reports of investigation." And at this point, the lady's like, "Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, I don't want to mess this guy's disability packet up. Oh my, I'll be unemployed too. Then I'll be on disability." Friends, I got this thing, the largest lawsuit that the government's ever had to deal with. I mean, when it comes to these type of things, the hostile work environments. And friends, it's taken a little longer than I had wanted it to. But it's okay, friends. It's out of my hands. It's in God's hands, by the way. What's in the judge's hands? Down in Miami. Friends, not only am I looking at $300,000, friends, now here's the saddest part. My soon-to-be, but not soon enough ex-wife ain't gonna see one damn cent of any of this. Not one, Schlitz, not one damn cent. Because I'm filing for divorce later on in this week. I got the packet over here. Unless she's already filed with the Skalinsky law firm. I don't know, friends. I just don't know. But everybody, it's called being patient. You can't let the devil keep tricking you. And he has been. He's been tricking me. I'm very emotional. I can't believe this lady did this again and again and again. But Schlitz, I've woken up, I've seen the light. And just like the video I did on my Facebook earlier, that spiritual talk. If God had not done this, if God had not allowed this lady to do this to me the last time, I'd still be with her. Did you hear what I said, everybody? I would have taken the lady back. And I would be miserable. Now I don't have to be miserable, Schlitz. I don't, my friend. I just don't. So friends, we're going to file for the divorce, and when the divorce is filed, she don't get one damn cent of any lawsuit. The day that you file, that seals it there. So if she scratches off a lottery ticket the next day after I file and wins $1 million, friends, I don't get none of that. But my friend, the lady told me at the disability office, she goes, "When was the day that you couldn't go to work anymore?" And friends, it's so easy, because that's the day I had the mental health relapse. It's in my lawsuit. It's the September the 8th of 2023. And she goes, "Oh, wow. So you haven't worked a day since then?" I said, "No, ma'am, I haven't. All my I don't even get W-2s. They're all zeros. Nothing. 2004, nothing. 2005, nothing. Because I've been waiting on this lawsuit, everybody. That's why I couldn't go down to the Home Depot like this lady. This lady, friends. I can't stand this lady any longer. There's just no wisdom in this individual at all. It's all instant gratification. That's why the lady's addicted to the easy money scratch-off tickets and the easy payday loans and the AMSCOTs, friends. Don't you dare let me catch y'all doing those things. Friends, I got to go donate some plasma. It's my day, and I don't want to get behind, because then I'll get behind on my bills. Friends, I think today's a $75 day, but that's $75 that I don't got in my checking account, friends. So, friends, I was blown away. I was thinking like in a year, 9 months in a year, I'll start getting the friends, I'm looking at $2,000 a month. That's going to be real nice. Maybe then I can pay a little child support. I don't know, friends. I told you that lady's going to pay me alimony, friends. Friends, I'm not going to be too obnoxious with the alimony. I'm going to request, I think I told you what I'm going to be doing with it. Hey, Schlitz, I'm going to take the alimony that this lady's going to have to pay me per the judge. I mean, she's all about the judge. We're going to stick to the ruling. The judge gave me 2 years. We're not going to alter from the injunction. The judge ruled, so we're going to do what the judge says. Okay, lady. Whatever the judge says. So the judge rules that the lady's going to pay me $800 in alimony for the next 5 or 10 years, then she's going to pay it, right? Schlitz, I'm not going to be nasty or evil with the money. I'm not going to do evil with it, friends. I'm going to open up Florida prepaid for the 2 of my 3 children, because I believe my mother opened one for my oldest. But my other 2 don't have a college fund. They just don't have it. So I'm gonna, when the lady has to pay me the alimony, when the divorce judge demands it, it's gonna go into my account, and then I'm gonna transfer it every month into both of my 2 children's Florida prepaid. That way they have a chance to go to college. And I don't want them joining the perverted military, friends. I don't want none of y'all to do it. You're just gonna wind up in the fire, everybody. Just don't be doing these things any longer. We were all tricked. Hold on, friends. I'm back in Afghanistan. I'm in Brandon, Florida, and these roads are worse than Afghanistan. I can't stand this county. That's okay, friends. It's all y'all's burden to bear. I'm moving to Manatee County here later on in the year. Hold on, friends. Pull it in here. Friends, I told this lady, I said, oh yeah, ma'am, I know the exact date I couldn't work anymore. It was my last day at the Bay Pines VA. And she goes, well, when was that? I said, well, it was September the 8th of the year 2023. And then she goes on her little computer. She goes, oh my goodness. She goes, if they approve it the way that you're telling me, and you're being truthful. And I said, ma'am, I don't lie. I just don't lie. I said, everything I'm telling you, I tell you the truth. The lady says, well, you're looking at like $75,000 to $80,000 in back pay later on this year. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on now, do those numbers again. She goes, oh yeah, it happens all the time. Friends, did you hear what I just told you? This is why Jesus has been getting on to me about complaining. This is why Jesus has me doing friends, I'm not kidding, I'm at the donation. I came here earlier, but the line was just too long, friends. And with my PTSD, I can't sit in the line for an hour and a half. I just can't do it. But this lady the other night was dressing me down, saying that I just need to shut up and go get a job. And she's going to take me to the cleaners and demand I pay child support and just punish me. And I said, lady, how can you even claim to be a nurse? Not all injuries are visible. Some of them are up in the brain. And when you go to war, and you go to war many times, sometimes the PTSD, the anxiety, the depression, all those feelings are still up there, friends. And I do not trust the VA. I will not go to the VA to get any more mental health exams. I just won't do it. As a matter of fact, I just got the call that I'm going back to my the lady that did my red flag mental health, when this lady put me through the I could be here all day telling you what the evil this lady's done to me. You know, I'm going to write a book. It's going to be called Don't Ever Marry People Like This. Don't ever marry the kooky. It ain't going to work out good for you. You're going to wind up in the red flag courts. You're going to be homeless, living in a RV on credit in a county park. And you won't even be able to see your children unless there's a perverted social worker watching you on a camera. I can't stand this damn evil. But like I've been trying to explain to y'all, it's all temporary. It's all stinking temporary. My lawsuit's going to be done sometime this year. My Social Security disability will be wrapped up sometime this year. And friends, the fact that I'm homeless, they put you at the front of the line, because I am going to go to my Congress people. And I'm going to say the lady did a Liefeld injunction and removed me out of the home, and I'm homeless. And friends, I used to work in Congress. If you're a homeless veteran, if you got terminal illness, or you're over the age of 85, they always put you at the front of the line, friends, the front of the line. I do not have a home. I live in an aluminum container that's not really suitable for long-term habitation, friends. It's for vacation. You're not supposed to live in an RV like I am. This lady had no idea what the hell she was doing. She just never does. But I told you, that's her yoke is heavy and her burden is overbearing, everybody. But my yoke is light and my burden is easy because I trust the Lord Jesus. And Jesus always, and friends, I gotta be humble here. I can't rub it in the lady's face. I mean, she's been looking for that easy, fast money, Mr. Schlitz. She's been looking for that her whole life, and just that's why she does she does like every payday she does like $100 in scratch-offs. And I used to always find them in her van. Well, she just got rid of the lottery ticket. She just got rid of the best lottery ticket that she could have ever thought of. And up until yesterday, I was willing to try to work it out with her if there was even an opportunity. But when you tell someone that you effing hate them over and over again, and you do that in front of the children. Oh, hold on, friends. I gotta go. I'll be right back. Give me one momento. Hello? Oh, hold on, friends. Hold on now.
My name is Rebecca. Your Medicare record triggered a state-level review flag, and these can impact...
I told you, the spam, the computers, they're getting better. They're getting better. Friends, I'm going to have the money. Life's not about money. Friends, I really don't care about money. I mean, look, friends, I'm just going to show you. I'm not doing the peanut butter and jelly because my friend gave me a gift card for the Publix, so I had a BOGO. I bought some ham. I got ham sandwiches, friends. A little turkey. You know, these people want me to suffer because they don't like my behavior and they want to alter it because they got the darkness in them, and the darkness hates Jesus, and they know that I'm trying my best to be righteous and godly. But the Lord Jesus is going to bless me, like I keep trying to explain to y'all. Now, if I had gone and gotten a job at the Home Depot like this lady demanded me to, well, I wouldn't qualify for the disability. That's why I just had to lay low for the last 2.5 years. I just had to lay low. Now, I didn't quite understand it, but I never thought in a million years that I would be eligible for this, Mr. Schlitz. But I was on the website last night, and they're like, oh yeah, you're looking at $2,000. You hadn't worked in 2 years. Now, if I had tried to do this literally the day after I lost my job, I wouldn't have qualified everybody. But I lost my job because I had a mental health relapse, and then I found out all these people were out to get me, and my lawsuit proves it. So, friends, what I'm explaining to you is, this is going to be an easy case for the disability folks to look at. Because not only am I claiming that I can't work, I got literally the largest lawsuit in the world when it comes to these type of things to back it up. On top of the fact that I'm a 100% service-connected veteran with all these things going on. And in my lawsuit, it clearly states that I was retaliated and all these things. And in my lawsuit, it says that day I had a mental health relapse. It's true, friends. And here's the best part. Oh my gosh, this lady's checking the graphics out. Oh, how you doing, lady? Friends, the lady tried to punish me with all her hatred for me with the Baker Acts and the life-filled injunctions. But friends, that only helps my case out when it comes to my disability. Oh, I told you, friends. You know, when the goofy goober goes out all out to trick you, and you keep getting tricked by the goofy goober, and you don't want to beg Jesus to help you remove all the evil out of you, and you just keep getting tricked and tricked and tricked. Well, it's all going to be at the expense of the devil for the glory of God. So, friends, I had to do all these Baker Acts, and friends, personally, I did not feel that I needed these things, but it's okay. Rogo, hold on now. Rogo, I just applied last night for my Social Security disability. And I went down there today to drop off some documents, and I was just asking some questions. And I told the lady all about the lawsuit, and she's like, well, when's the last time you were able to work? And I said, well, it was September the 8th of 2023. She goes, you hadn't worked in 2 years? I said, yes, ma'am, about 2.5. And she goes, okay, well, I'm looking at $2,000 on top of my disability. But here's the best part, Rogowski. She says, well, I think you're going to get back pay all the way to the day that you walked away from your job. Rogo, I'm looking at like another $80,000 at the end of the year, and a lump sum payment to my account. And Rogo, the divorce will all be done by then. The lady ain't gonna get a cent, and I'm still gonna demand some alimony of the lady, because as we're going to court, they're not gonna care about something that may happen in the future. They're gonna look at what I got and what I don't got now, and I ain't really got a lot of nothing. So that lady's gonna lose everything, friends. I hate to be that way. I mean, the house is gonna have to sell. Rogo, you wanna buy my home? Friends, you gotta hydrate before you go donate your plasma. It makes it go a little quicker. Rogowski, I've been trying to tell everybody that we gotta get spiritual and trust Jesus. So not only is my EEO lawsuit gonna be done later on this year, that lawsuit helps my case when it comes to my Social Security disability. And the fact that this lady has Baker Acted me 3 times over the time that I lost my job, that only makes it 100 times more than, oh, hold on, what'd you write there? Well, I don't know. I might not need one. I mean, mine is pretty cut and dry, because my lawsuit validates that I had to leave my job because of the lawsuit and the hostilities, and I had a mental health relapse. And then it was so severe that my wife had me committed to a mental institution 3 times in the last 2 years. Oh my goodness! Allow there to be shame all over this lady, and allow the Grizzly man to never vacate her perverted thoughts. Rogo, I was blown away. I thought maybe in 6 months or a little longer, I would get a little measly Social Security check. But that lady's like, oh, no, sir. What you just told me, yeah, you're going to be getting back pay from the time these people did it to you. And this lady was so upset. I mean, this lady clearly doesn't like the Trumpster. And I told her, I don't really like him either, you know? I mean, I don't like anybody in our government. I didn't like that guy getting shot and killed the other day, but I didn't like him out there either, you know? It's just too much evil, friends. It's just, nobody wants any understandings. You got to be on this side or that side. You can't be in the middle. But friends, I keep trusting Jesus. And it gets hard. I mean, this is the worst hell I've ever had to go through. Being betrayed by the lady that you loved. So many times. And then her just to tell you how much she hates you, and hates you, and I hate you, I effing hate you. All in front of the children. That's evil, friends. That is not of the Lord. That is of the dark one. It's sad. It's so sad. Oh my goodness. Look who's on here. The old first sergeant. No. Is he the first sergeant now? Good to see you, my friend. I hope your guard career is going well. I had to retire. But I just got out of the Social Security Disability office. It's all true, everybody. I'm looking at like $80,000 in back pay from the day that I had to walk away from my career at the Department of Veteran Affairs. It's all documented in my lawsuit that I had the mental health relapse on the September the 8th of 2023. That was the day that they like literally all came after me in the meeting. And I had to walk away from the job. I wasn't able to work ever since then. And then my lawsuit, my equal opportunity, hostile work environment lawsuit for being a white Christian guy in the federal government. It's all true, everybody. But it's all true too. I went and applied for my Social Security Disability last night because I thought, well, if the lady's gonna try to get me in court, there ain't gonna be nothing to get because I'm a homeless guy now. I'm a 100% service-connected combat veteran. And I applied for my Social Security Disability. Lady, you're gonna be giving me some money. In fact, you're gonna be moving out of that house and I'm moving back in. And you can go buy a home somewhere else with that nice old, big old fat nursing, Department of Veteran Affairs nursing salary you got. $130,000, $140,000. That lady likes to hide the money, friends. But I ain't got no money to hide. All I got's a lot of pain, a lot of sorrow, and I got my nice acoustic guitar. And I'm taking the show on the road, friends. I got my Social Security Disability, $80,000 coming to me. The lady tossed me out. Shame on me for taking her back ×3. I got my Social Security Disability. I was subjected to the hostile work environment. Oh yeah. Hold on, friends. Hold on. Turn that off, Corpus. I think we just got another hit. I've been listening to a lot of Oliver Anthony. He's a little different than me. He's not as Grizzly. He's not a girly guy at all. He's just got a different type of story. Hold on, Rogo. Hey, Prano, hold on here. Oh, no. Oh, we gotta do a tuner. See, Rogo, I don't have any worries what I'm trying to explain to you. This lady's living in fear and letting the devil trick her. And she's gonna be broke as a joke, just barely getting by. And I'm gonna be having the time of my life. And I still have to pray for the lady. I have to be humble. Because if I'm not humble, then Jesus will discipline me. We all know these things. I'm gonna play a little jingle before I go donate some plasma. Because it cost me like $20 in fuel just to drive down here. So I almost break even. But it gives me something to do. It gets me out of the county park. No, hold on. What the hell? Rogo, I had a perverted social worker take my daughter to the bathroom yesterday. I couldn't even take my daughter down the hall to the bathroom in this horrible court-mandated supervision that I have to go to. What an abomination. I can't stand this evil. Uh-oh. Hold on, friends. I got more helicopters flying around. No. Hold on. Here we go. disability coming to me. $80,000 coming straight at me. She threw me out. Shame on me. Too many times I took her back. I got my money headed straight at me. My lawsuit money coming straight at me. The hostile work environment happened to me. I got rid of those DEI demons, yeah. Hold on, friends, we'll work on it later. But it's all true, Rogo. I went down there and I just didn't know what I didn't know. And the lady's like, oh my gosh, you're looking at a lot of money coming your way. She's like, you didn't work in like 2.5 years? I said, well, I couldn't, ma'am. I just couldn't. I said, I've been goofing off on the YouTube and doing the social media just to pass the time. And spending a little time in the loony bins and a couple days in jail. And just crying in cemeteries for the last 2 years. Hold on. Hey. Oh yeah. I told you, friends, I got fans everywhere. Hey, hold on now. Hey, Rogo, that is a true story. This is a true damn story. Oh yeah, hey. I was just checking my TikTok last night, and I don't get on there as much as I should. But there was a fister, a forward observer, a fister. He's with the 53rd, and he likes all my stuff, and he sent me a message. And I kind of sent him back something like, yeah, roger that. And then he wrote back and he goes, hey, we all think we know who you are. He goes, a bunch of soldiers at drill this past weekend were talking about Sergeant Major Grizzle Grits on the YouTube channels and how much they love it. And they're trying to figure out who you were, because they all know that you were a fister. They just can't place you. So I told him, oh, okay, friend. It's all true. It's Sergeant First Class Messer. It's me. Friends, I told you I'm legendary. And then he says, oh my goodness, you were the PGK instructor. I said I was, and my brother Rogo. Hey, Miss Bonnie, I had applied for the Social Security disability. And believe it or not, I'm looking at like $80,000 in back pay later on in the year. I hadn't been able to work in 2 years since I lost the job. Hey, Miss Bonnie, I was out at the cemetery on Sunday, and it looks pretty good. I had to do a police call. I got like half a bag of trash. And some lady and her friend were out there visiting one of their loved ones. And they gave me a big old wave and a big old smile because they're all happy that we're out there getting it all squared away. But hey, in the summertime, I'm going to be back out there with my lawnmower, helping it out. I'm about to go donate some plasma while I'm broke as a joke. With all my troubles and my sorrows and my little cute... friends, I had to pawn my wedding bands a year and a half ago. I got like $800 and I said, y'all got to throw in the Yamaha. I don't feel good. Y'all just give me $800 for these rings. Because they were like $4,000 when we bought them many years ago. But friends, you can buy the wedding band, you can have the biggest wedding. But if you don't take the lady to the counselor and learn the love language, you're going to wind up just like your humble sergeant major. I got 80,000, oh, that's not how it goes. I got money headed straight at me. $80,000 gonna be for me. My VA disability is just for me. Social Security disability for me. I got a lawsuit. It is just for me. That hostile work environment was not for me. 2 directors gone just because of me. The union gone all because of me. Hey. Disability. Friends, I'm still learning it. I'm watching myself on the guitar, so it's messing up my coordination. And I told you I'm disabled, for goodness sakes. Hold on. Hold on, my goodness. I gotta donate some plasma just for me. $75 just for me. My truck ain't running good, all because of me. I didn't change the air filter like I need. Hey! 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 More disability because the lady baker acted me. She called the sheriff all on me. 3 days in jail, all because of me. Hey. All right, friends, I do gotta go. I came here earlier, but the line was just too stinking long. So listen, Miss Bonnie, the cemetery looks pretty nice. I'm living in the county park down there in Apollo Beach. So I don't get to get into Brandon that much, but every time I go to church, I'm gonna cruise in there. But it's looking pretty good, it's looking pretty good. I'm so glad they got that big old tree out of there, and everything looks nice. It looks nice. I do got some branches that I gotta take to the county dump, but I can't get into my house because this lady, she still has this silly injunction on me. Rogo, she says, well, we'll give it a couple visits, and I demand you go to the VA and provide me a mental health exam, and you got to do all the follow-up treatments, and then maybe I'll revisit letting you see the children. That's fine, lady. You do what the hell you want to do. I'm gonna go get a lawyer, and I'm gonna have this whole thing tossed out, and I'm gonna have you go get your own mental health exam. All right, friends, I gotta go. I mean, I stinking gotta go. Brando, I gotta go. I got them bubble guts bubbling up. Rogo, I'm doing good. I hope you're all doing good. Again, friends, you gotta trust Jesus. He's gonna put you through a little hell. That's why we're on this earth, friends. It's called the testimony. God's gonna test us. And I've been failing these tests. But last night, I made a choice after I saw my children. That's all the healing I needed. Because listen, everybody, my children long for me. I'm not saying that they love one parent more than the other, but I provide a whole different type of parental experience than the other parent. I have fun with my children. I correct them when they don't say their manners, very, very sternly, but they know that they need to say the yes ma'am and the no ma'am. And we have a lot of fun. And it's all true, Rogowski. I asked my daughter, my middle child, I said, because she was sitting in my lap and crying. She's like, I'll miss you so much, Daddy. And I said, okay. I said, what do you miss the most about me? She got real quiet. Brando, she got real quiet. Brando. She got real quiet. She looked up at me and she goes, Daddy, we miss you. We miss you praying with us before bed. So I said, well, you need to ask your mommy to have her call me, and I could pray with you before you go to bed. And friends, this lady, I have no idea who this lady is. I just don't, friends. The people that you divorce is never the people that you marry. But I sent a nice message last night, just asking if the children could call me around bedtime so I could pray with them. And there's never a response, friends. I told you, that devil is very strong in that lady. We just got to keep praying for her. We're not going to dress her down any longer. That ain't my job, it ain't my fight. Friends, it's the Lord's fight now, just like the YouTube thing I did earlier. So I got to go, friends. I hope the line ain't that long. I think we're doing this arm today. Oh, friends, I go in there and I watch all my YouTube and my live streams. That's how I pass the time in there, the 40 minutes. Because it's all for me. And I literally just wrote another jingle, friends. And I got to go back to the campsite and do the music video. But friends, I'm going on a little adventure tomorrow. Friends, I'm going to Bach Tower. I'm going to be out at Bach Tower tomorrow. I can't tell you all the details, friends, but I'm going to go out there with a friend of mine, and we're going to go do some cool videos. If you haven't been to Bach Tower, it's pretty cool. It's a big tower, and where is it? Winter Haven? Where the hell is it at? I know some of y'all guys know. You take Highway 60 east, and then you see the towers. That's the highest point in Florida. And they got the gardens out there. And I'm also going to take my friend over to the Spook Hill, friends. It's called Spook Hill. It's not what you think, friends. It's spooky. It's like an old Indian burial grounds. But I'm going to go out there and say, in the name of Jesus, I command you not to even move my truck. Because, friends, if you park your vehicle and put it in neutral, it's supposed to push you up the hill. The Indian spirits. But I'm going to see how they fare Oh my goodness. Where the hell's my Bible at? I'm going to recite some Bible verses. And instead of my vehicle going up, it's going to go, well, friends, it ain't going to go nowhere. Those evil ain't going to mess around with the Holy Spirit. All right, then, friends, I got to go. I'll talk to y'all later. Miss Bonnie, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, cemetery looks pretty squared away. Hey, look, Miss Bonnie, whenever I get back on my feet with my ministry, and maybe I get some of these paydays paying out, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get the fence redone in the back. We're going to get that graffiti taken off. And there's some other little projects that I'd love to do in that nice little cemetery. I don't know if I told you this, but last year I was before my whole life spun out of control. But it's not, friends. God's got me right where he wants me. Because I'm going to start doing my men's groups. I know it's backwards, everybody. But I'm going to start doing the men's domestic violence victims response team. I'm going to go outside of that horrible perverted courthouse and I'm going to sing my blues. And if y'all so choose, you can donate $1 to the cause. But everybody, I'm going to start doing some men's counseling groups. Y'all know I'm mental health trained. I'm master levels. Now I got some sad news, everybody. Hodges University, where I got my master's, well, I was one semester. All I had to do was the internship. That's all I had to think of do. That stupid Dr. Anthony Fauci, who screwed it all up for everybody. Friends, Hodges University closed down. They closed down. They shut the doors because of the pandemic. So I got to go to Kaiser or somewhere else and literally do one semester, and I'm sure they're going to make me do some other courses, and that's fine, friends. I don't care. I'll just get, I'll take a student loan or something. But this year is going to be my year, everybody. It's just starting off a little, well, I don't know, friends. It's just interesting, to say the least. But Miss Bonnie, I want to get a flagpole built in the front of the cemetery. A nice flagpole with the POW flag. And then on the bottom, I want a plaque that has all the services on it. The Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Coast Guard, the Air Force. I want them all because we got so many soldiers buried in that cemetery. And like I think I explained to you in the past, it'll draw more attention, and then maybe some more folks will want to come out there and help us get it all squared away. Because it is a volunteer effort, everybody. There is not one person that's responsible for the whole place. There's one guy that used to mow it, but I don't even think he does it any longer. Because I met a man that his beautiful little child's buried out there. And he says that it's just a bunch of volunteers. And I'm like, well, buddy, you call me anytime you need me, you call me. I mean, I can't get to my mower, not yet. Oh, friends, I didn't tell you all the best part. Friends, I shouldn't be telling you all these things. I do gotta go. Friends, should I tell them or not? Friends, I got a place to live. I got to sting a place to live. That's right, friends. I'm moving into Sun City Center. And friends, you have to be 45 years or older. So I'm going to be like the youngest, fittest, most grizzly man amongst all these old folks, all these old women. I know, friends. That's why I'm a godly man. I already know how to behave myself. Good grief. I don't want no cookies, no lemonade. Please. I'm a godly man. I'm not into that stuff. But friends, I have an arrangement with somebody, and they need someone to live there, and they need the little handyman work done. And they're not going to charge. Friends, I'm living there. Like, I can't tell you all these things. I'm going to go zip. Friends, I got me a two bedroom, 1 bath, and it has a garage in the back, friends. I can't believe my fortunes, Jesus. Thank you so much, my Lord. Thank you. And friends, that journey starts this weekend. That's right, friends. Just keep it at that. You got to trust in the Lord Jesus. He's always going to take care of you. And he's going to put you through a little hell, friends. That's kind of the whole point for the last thing in time. It's called the testimony. You can't have a proper testimony if Jesus has never tested you. I don't want to hear about someone that sits on the couch all day drinking the toddies, watching the college football. That is not a testimony. That is perverted. I want to hear about someone that has lost everything. And then somehow Jesus allowed them to go through that fire, and then they come out 100 times better. I'm not talking about all the money, friends. And y'all know me by now. When the earthly treasures start rolling in, and they're going to, friends, I'm not going to go buy another mansion. I'm going to put that in the ministry. And I'm going to start my thrift store. And I'm going to start my arcade pinball machine for the children. That way they don't have to go out there and do perverted things with some of y'all. Not my friends, but there's a lot of enemies that like to log on here. Friends, I got so many plans. I told you I'm buying a couple Up Armor Humvees. And I'm going to do some deuce and a halves, and we're going to go out and feed the homeless. It's the Grizzly Army. Hey, Rogo, the Hillsborough County Sheriff really thought I had a militia. I mean, somebody told me that. Somebody on the inside told me that the detectives, Really thought I was like a J6er organizer, and I was going to have an uprising right here in Hillsborough County. But then after they harassed me for the last year, and then they realized there ain't nothing there. It's all art, and I'm just a goofball. Well, they still watch all the videos because they're hooked. All right, friends, I gotta go. I mean, seriously, I gotta go, friends. I've been hydrating so I can go do my plasma. Look, Rogo, let me know when you're back down here in Florida. I'll go take you around the park. I'll go introduce you to all the raccoons that like to linger around the campsite. I mean, one of these knuckleheads was in my RV last night. I had to get him out of there. It wasn't Reggie, it was his friend. All right, friends, I gotta go. Y'all be good, and I'll talk to you later. Grizzly 6 out.